everybody, and welcome to the Fireside Chat for this, our Chapter 4 of The Wizard, the Witch, and the Wild One. I am your host, Erica Ishii, and with me, as always, by this fireside, Abria Iyengar.
Ahoo-hoo, crackle, crackle. Let's talk stuff.
Oh boy, this whole chapter. Oh, so much to chat with you about. And I'm here with Brennan Lee Mulligan.
Hoo-hoo, crackle, crackle. So excited to get into all things about Chapter 4 of The Wizard, the Witch, and the Wild One. Also, an exciting chapter because by definition, this is our final chapter of Book 1. And therefore, this will be our talk back for all of the first 54 episodes of The Wizard, the Witch, and the Wild One. And if you're listening to this, you may not actually be by the fireside. This is a public talkback episode. So you guys should know that we do talkbacks for each and every episode of the podcast over by the Fireside, which is our Patreon, where we have lots of goodies and bonus content and awesome stuff.
Say it. Say what we call it.
We call it the Fireside. That's the name of our Patreon. So there's a seat warm and ready for you by the fireside. If you've gotten here after listening to Book 1 and you think, gosh darn, these guys tell some good actual play stories, you can come and support our work over on our Patreon for Worlds Beyond Number.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And with us here for this momentous talkback episode is Lou Wilson.
Hey, it's me, Lou Wilson.
Woo! Yes. For those
crackle.
Hoo and crackle. For those of us who normally join us by the fireside on our Patreon, you know that it is a rare and special thing indeed to get Lou Wilson onto our chats, because normally we host quite a number of guests that sound very similar to Lou, but are actually good friends of his who are filling in while he is, circumnavigating Panama and on his various adventures around the globe.
Yes, this is, I like to be here for firsts. I like to be here for the big ones. This is our first ever book talk back, and I just said, Panama can wait.
I love it.
Amazing.
I would love to put forward to the august council that I now behold a little bit of unfinished business to open our talkback, which it was from the end of episode 54's talkback, but it feels very appropriate for talking about Chapter 4, talking about Book 1. Are
we allowed to cuss you out about the epilogues now?
Cuss me out about the epilogues.
We had no idea. We were out of the room for that. We had been reunited. We were all in the room. Leaving. How dare you?
You can't keep getting away with this.
And yet I do. And yet I simply do.
Damn it.
That was what. Any curveballs for you? So the again, for those listening to this, I would assume it would be a hot start to have your first bit of content you're consuming from Worlds Beyond Number be the talkback for all of Book 1. But just to reiterate from our friends, because it's been 2 weeks since it dropped, in our finale, if you haven't heard it, my God, talk about a Nick Fury. I want to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative. Get in after the end credits, after Taylor's dulcet tones. Thank you for listening to Worlds Beyond Number. There are, I think, 6 epilogue scenes.
Mm-hmm. Don't be surprised by what you did.
Well, I was just running through, being like, here's all the shit going on in the world that we need to get into or discuss. So you guys knew that there was going to be like a little bit of bonus material in that episode, but were you caught off guard by?
Did we? Is that a thing we knew?
I think so.
I mean, Abria left immediately. So I think
we were under the gun the entire time. We were like, we got to get this finished so Abria can catch a flight to New York.
I had to time my sworn sobbing. Taylor came in. He's like, you got 3 minutes. I was like, okay.
I was present. I was present as you recorded some of these. However, their content I did not know.
We had no idea.
So they were recorded at camp.
They were recorded
after
at
you
camp.
had
cool.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if they were came back and did them later. Fun.
No. but I didn't know how. I think the fact that there were 6 was far beyond. I think I knew like conceptually about like 2 of them, but I think 4 of them were straight up like, what's this now?
What's all this then?
My personal favorite was the reveal that God.
Opalfind? Was it?
No, Opalfin was awesome, and that if anything, I just felt validated and being like, I should have let this motherfucker go when I had the chance.
My bad. I can't believe I almost
he could have been on our team. He was gonna be on a team, so why not have it be ours? But I think that. Oh my God, Will Gallows. That's it.
Yes.
The Will Gallows out of the corners in Reimer's Bay. I was kind of like, oh shit. All right, like that one. I got genuinely kind of, in a way that I don't often get. I have a hard time listening to my own podcast. That is a genuine moment where I'm like, oh shit.
It's got to make sense because being a crime boss in a port city. Like we've established, like the history of rum runners in the Shroud Mountains, like the Singer's Cellar is is like literally like once again. To me, it's very like Court of Miracles vibe from Hunchback of Notre Dame, like right? Like. But to me, the idea that like who are the friends used very lightly here. Who are the people the Grenault would reach out to in a crisis that maybe they wouldn't be excited to call in a favor from, but desperate times call for desperate measures. And the idea that they're like, we should call in a favor. We've been sending this guy stuff for a long time. We know that he is a business contact of ours from across the sea. Maybe we can get him out to the coast of the Empire to help us solve this problem. And then lo and behold, there's Will Gallows meeting Neef. 2 people that know Ursulon in very different circumstances.
Wait,
And Ursulon, yeah.
And you're saying one of the Grenault also had a little piece of the noose? Because that imagery, I just walk around with that in my heart. I only have so much as, God, stop. Anyway, it's cool. It's so cool.
It was great. And him in the connecting tissue being Bear, the strong. Did you say the strongest man in Silvery?
Yeah. Yes.
It was. That's really great.
So good.
And now I want that crime boss and Neef, crime boss and little waif, a little side campaign.
Crime boss and waif. Crime boss and waif.
Crime boss and waif.
Yeah, I love the Regina George writing in her burn book of Indri watching Ame. Like, I hate her with the flames on the side of my face. Oh,
Look.
Yeah.
No, I was just going to say mine is absolutely whatever is going on with the spirits. Opalfind on a throne in the Loki pose and the ink demons and then Pomeroy and Arim. Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
The spirits are messy.
Oh, Pomeroy, don't be a cop who goes to jail. Don't do that. Pomeroy.
It was pretty nasty. Like I was like, oh, this team does not look as fun as one might hope, you know? Like it is like, oh, in that moment I genuinely was like, okay, I don't need to be his champion. This is kind of like a lame. They haven't invested that much in the locker room situation here. Like it's not the culture.
It's important to invest in culture. Yes.
Yes, exactly. The culture at the Man in Black's on the Man in Black's team is not my favorite. It's not that fun.
Very tech startup. They're like, yeah, I was employee 3.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, you're a jester on a throne. Get out of here.
Yeah.
yeah. There's a ping pong table out in the hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a strong claim that as of the resolutions of book 1 of named characters, Pomeroy's having the worst time. I think that is. I have a hard time thinking of anyone who's in a worse position, having a worse material time than Pomeroy, having been dragged to the spirit world after many long years of torturing and capturing his fellow sweetbits.
I don't know.
Yes,
When you go show up in Numora, you get what you get.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
What else? There was one, the Yorin one was a banger.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was
Okay.
good.
I don't like this.
Abria, but
Yeah.
okay, Suvi, I'm sure would not like this with Yorin and Grimoire, but you, Abria, my dear friend, by the
Yorin
Fireside,
can do better.
in the Horner Corner.
Yorin can do so much better. I foundationally don't enjoy Grimoire being like a nasty, like anti-vaxxer of a lady. I don't like her vibe. Yorin is a beautiful man of color, and I don't need him slumming it with whatever Grimoire's whole fucking deal is. I do not like her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but she's got a
Yorin
whole
and Hekea,
harem.
let's go.
Hey,
Yorin and Hekea.
Akea called him handsome in introducing herself.
I ship it.
I ship it.
I ship it.
I ship it.
Yeah.
Now, are you saying like is the most? Sorry, there was there's like a leaf blower right behind me as I started talking.
Yeah.
Are you in the moment that Yorin and the witches are all like linked up? Is that like they're on the same team, or is it just that they're like in contractual talks?
I think I need to leave you with what you saw. I don't think we even see Yorin's response in this scene, right? We see the 3 yes votes on the Coven of Elders show up, save Yorin's ass from the flight of Gauthmai in the Shroud Mountains. And I think it was just this essentially thing, like we forget that the whole arc of chapter 4 was like 2 to 3 weeks. So people go from like, where are the witches? When are they going to start the witch war? It's like, hey man, they're cooking. 2 weeks is not a long time. They're doing their thing, right?
Yeah, bro. I don't unpack after 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They're still like, I'll go get the winter gear out, but like tomorrow.
But also because of their connection, Marara's connection to the Man in Black, that means we've seen the Man in Black act. How in concert is Marara with him, and thus the witches with him, and now how connected is the Man in Black to Yorin, because now they're 1 degree separated by his side piece.
Yes. So I think you can draw a conclusion that at least under the banner of the Man in Black, if you look at what the information we have is from what was said in chapter 3 at the Conclave and what was said in this scene, the network is the Man in Black. Under his banner marches Naram, Orima, Obelfind, the King of Storms, the chalices of Ruve, and that he is actually in disguise as all of the patrons of the warlocks of Ruve. We see that he has the ink demons now at his castle with Pomeroy in tow, and of course his champion wielding the sword of night, Sir Curran, a spirit of the dead. And then having sided with him, the Coven of Elders, right? Not with full unanimity, but the Coven of Elders voted and said, yes, we will go to war with the Man in Black. With is an interesting term, right? Because there's like, does the with of the Coven mean that they are his servants? Maybe not, but does with mean we are an ally? Probably so. And so we see Hekea approaching Yorin, who we see has just finished or concluded this effort with the Shape Changers allied with the Houses of Gauthmai. Houses of Gauthmai suffered a bad beat. Yorin and his Shape Changers, with heavy losses, still seem to have accomplished their mission in the Shroud Mountains, which was slightly different than the House of Gauthmai, which had to do with Quicksilver. Yorin getting up to some sneaky stuff in those mountains. So in any case, I think that it should fill you with a sense of dread and not one of certainty. That's my goal for that Yorin. He's being approached. He's being approached by the witches in terms of, hey.
I love seeing a free agent getting offers. That's great. But don't make me smack the shit out of my uncle and be like, really? Man.
Hey, He's got to play somewhere. You only got so many good playing years. He's got to play somewhere. So if you don't want someone to take a bad contract, you got to give them a good one.
All right.
Well, and that's my thought too, is because not everybody is, number one, on board with everything that the Man in Black and his side is aiming to do, nor are all of them aware fully of the scope of what he hopes to accomplish in his side of the war. And they also don't know that there is option 3, which is Ursulon and his banner and our trio, and now his father.
To extend,
I was about to say, I'm like, Ursulon, can you pick this dude up off the waiver wire, please?
I also
This is a bad. There's a snake draft joke in here. At some point.
It is crazy too that that Nat 20, it does change.
Sports.
It changes all the math, because it does suddenly put you in this position where you go like, okay, we had our offer before yesterday. This was our offer of like, we're a scrappy team. We got a great culture on this team.
Great culture. What's
Great
up?
culture.
Baked
Good.
goods out the ass. All right. You trying to eat?
Yeah.
And
You trying to eat?
you try to eat, and you just signed LeBron. Like, that's the other thing. Is
There it is.
it's just this thing of like, we going from no great spirits to one great spirit changes the fundamental nature of the offer if you're trying to sign other great spirits, right? Like, it's a very different offer.
The beginning
But
of
is he-
book 2 is just us going into different kind of corporate-y office spaces, being like, we want to tell you what we're trying to do here at Bright Horizons. All right, what we're trying to build here foundationally is something to save the world, and the different pieces of it.
I want that polo shirt badly.
The jersey will say the Wizard, the Witch, and the Wild One, but you'll be getting your paychecks from Brighter Tomorrow LLC.
Yeah, Brighter Tomorrow's LLC.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, okay, now we're stuck in like a sports analogy, and I did just do my fantasy draft yesterday. Do we consider the Great Bear, like, okay, if he's LeBron, is he our franchise player, or is he our sort of veteran that's going to get our younger, scrappier squad up to speed?
I defer to people that actually, I think that the basketball, let me tell you what I think the Great Bear does. And let's like, who's on the squad going into book 2? The only people you have on the squad are the 3 of you, Task and the Fox. Who do you guys feel like is on the squad that you can fundamentally say on the squad under our banner, get what we're about?
Yeah. Understand the
Suvi cannot
culture.
contribute. Suvi doesn't have a contribution for this.
We had some hard. Actually, wait. Our first
hard bait.
I was going to say that there was a great from Arcanorama Cam for Brennan. Is there a particular Nat 20 or Nat 1 from the first book that stands out as having drastically changed the shape of the story? They happen in the last episode. Or two episodes. Nat 1, Sworn is not here. Nat 20, Great Bear is here. I mean, literally nothing impacts my life more than the characters I'm going to be playing, right? So like that is hugely impactful. Yeah. And I already know things about the Great Bear and Sworn and book 2 and things like that. But in terms of, I'm interested again, like in you guys saying, who do you feel like you've actually got on the team, if anybody? Maybe it's just the 3 of you and the 2 familiars.
I feel
Definitely.
like we
Okay.
could. Go ahead.
first. You go.
I was just gonna say we could pick up Will Gallows for probably like 2 weeks. We could do it like,
Oh, sure.
like just the 2As. Like we have him. Like we could probably get him in for a big game. But I don't think we can't sign him. But for a big game, we've got Will Gallows.
I like that. I rock with that.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Absolutely. I think in that vein, I wouldn't want to employ them full time. I don't know sports. I'm gonna just throw some stuff out here. I would say also the Greneau. I think the Greneau would at least sort of be in the stands, to pack a home game.
Oh, sure. They can be fans. I don't know if sort of without their fundamentals, and by their fundamentals, I mean the Great Bullfrog.
Exactly.
What's their contribution?
Exactly. Well, but
They don't hop no more. So that's just people.
I hate to do this to you, but they don't hop no more.
They do not in fact hop. These are just Cajuns.
Well, and the thing is the waterways, the waterways, they're underground networks. The smugglers' caves and sort of the waters and the sort of water transportation waterways of Umora, I think.
Okay, Erica, I hear you, but unless I need like a frosty ass gimlet as we're on the way to like challenge the man in black, I don't know what.
Yes,
I don't know what a rum runner's going to do for me.
We did actually. I immediately thought of that Pringles man bartender from the Ace of Wands.
Yes.
But what I'll say here is we do actually see a little bit from it's one mention in the epilogue where I do mention Greenough witches. That there are actually witches, which is the first time we've seen, I think, witches plural that are not Coven of Elders is just momentarily mentioned. So it is true that the sort of like those gifted of the great bullfrog that has vanished, but that's not the limit of Greenough magic. So I just want to put an asterisk there and say that we do see some like cool folksy waterway witches in the Singer's Cellar for a brief instant in that.
Yeah.
episode.
So, and even aside from skills, we in terms of Yoren was fighting a war about the supply chain. And I think that is in terms of the workings and the lifeblood of Umora, that is where they're going to come in clutch. Also, immediately we have Hannah and Galt.
Hannah.
Oh, yeah. Hannah, Galt, Ghost, Flicker. The cottage is popping off right now. We got.
Yeah.
I also think the wildest thing is you have Elbeth, Dr. Yagi, Henna Mohe, and Dalma all back at the cottage with 3 artificers and a construct. And I like, what is going on at the cottage? How are Hannah and Galt making themselves useful?
Less of a cottage, more of a forge.
I keep thinking about it. I feel like there's the scenes I know I immediately want to run when we get back to book 2. Great Bear and Ursulon and Ame talking to people at the cottage. Because, like, Hannah and Gult, Gult has been in fucking jail for weeks. But like, how quickly does it turn to, like, this is a lovely little cottage. Hinge is a little bit squeaky. Like how quickly does it turn into, I don't know. It feels fun. Fun things.
It's so cute. Also, I am the less the thing I'm also wondering about is Hannah and Suvi.
Yes.
And their
Sure.
relationship, friendship coming out of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
That will be interesting.
Again, different Ghibli movies. Yeah.
Also, I can't believe no one's mentioned it. We got Neef and the elk. We got Neef
Yeah.
and the elk.
Oh my gosh.
Come on, dude. Starting, I mean, the Great Bear will be our center, but Neef and the elk will get in there. They have a small forward for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
I think the elk's going to do big numbers. I love a high value rookie. This is going to be good.
Exactly.
Going back way back to the beginning, we've got Arthur. That man has been drawing a bath for our squad.
That's right. Yes, we have Arthur. Never forget Arthur.
Reach way back into the pocket. We got Oscar. He's cool. What's he up to?
Oscar in the acting troupe.
Yeah.
Rhea, the people you're putting on the squad are making me a little nervous for you guys.
Rosalind.
Rosalind. I was about to say
Justice for Rosalind.
We got day one Rosalind.
Day one Rosalind. She's not new to this. She's true to this.
I mean, she's a day one, straight up. Like, she's been on the team from the beginning. All right.
Yeah. So it sounds like the people that are firmly on the squad are a lot of little sweeties.
Rosalind.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought Rosalind, because you said Oscar, the actor. I for a second was thinking of, I forget the ingenue of the theater, the one who goes,
Where you're seeing birds.
Rose.
A bitch working on a third bird? Yeah. Let's get her in here.
She just put sparrows 3 times, penguins
on.
once.
Sparrows. Penguins, canonical in Umora.
Yes, they are. It's true.
Oh, no. I can't wait to get to the free roads.
Yeah, looking at Hannah, Neef, Galt, Rosalind versus on the one side Opalfind and Orima and Naram, or Steel and the Citadel and the Endeavor. It's tough. It's tough.
It's tough.
out there. Yeah. What's that?
It's a bad beat.
Coral Moral.
Oh, we do have Coral Moral.
I couldn't say him because I cannot pronounce him.
Yeah. Coral Moral. Hell yes. Well, but there's lots of people that you guys want to talk to. You're headed on a train to find the Great Library of Nirwara. You have a and that great bear really great bear.
Franchise player.
Well, also, question. If when we get the Great Bear, do we get a lot of his children too?
Unclear. I mean, this is what we play book 2 to discover or to find out. Unclear.
Okay.
Unclear.
Lou, I need you to start charging up that crit.
Well, I don't have the best relationship with some of my younger siblings. Also, they are like children adjacent. So let's keep that in mind.
Well, let's be clear. I think the Citadel's done a lot of big moves with child soldiers.
Okay, great. Okay, sick. And that's the organization we're trying to. We're building our own Citadel, right? That's the mission. That was the mission statement I got my father in on.
A whimsical.
They're doing a
Citadel
thing. We kind of want to do a Citadel thing over here, just kind of with a better culture,
Right, we have pizza parties.
Yeah.
Yeah. And unlimited PTO.
Yeah. Well, should we get big pictures? Should we start talking about the whole damn thing? The full book?
Yeah, are we
Wait,
talking
did we miss
about...
any of the epilogues? I feel like there's one I'm not thinking
I think
of.
the only one we didn't get was the man in black on the road to the cottage.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
That was...
Protecting the cottage, yeah.
Hey, Brennan, name that wizard who went down.
Oh, the wizard went down?
Yeah.
The wizard stain at this point.
Damn. That's great.
Oh, snap, bro.
Nice.
Snap.
Got him.
Dolt's just in the back going, I'm going to invent a power washer real quick. That's going to come right up. Don't you worry.
Don't even worry about it. Well, incredible.
And Sly. We have Sly.
Oh, and Sly. Yeah, actually, that is true. That's another Sly. Yeah.
Big player.
Big player.
Oh, and the rest of Ursulon's family
Can
also be in the
call on
stands.
Sly is like that incredible player who's always out with injury. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He's sort of like.
I'm like, I feel like if we were like, Sly, can you make it to the meeting? And he's like, sorry, I missed it. And you're like, well, I didn't even tell you when it was. And he's like, I know, I missed it. I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, he goes on to injured reserve right away, but he becomes sort of like a bench coach in a really big way.
Yeah.
Where you're like, when you do see him, he's going to gas you up. He's going to yell like, you're on the right path, kid. And then you're like, all right, thank you.
Oh my God. Well, very exciting. So there's book 2 staring us down from the misty future, but it's really fucking exciting. Should we do some audience questions?
Yeah.
I mean, let's pop up with the big one from Frank. I say let's take the biggest bite. Frank asks, thanks, Frank, for the gang. What was the best favorite role of the campaign so far? How did it make you feel? And what was the worst, most hated role of the campaign?
Ooh, I love that.
I feel bad because my truest, like I will desperately try to come up with a better answer, but the truest answer is Ursulon's crit, speaking to the Great Bear. That just was the exact right, like, oh, we've brought it all together and we've sort of peeked at the door into the future, and it's bright. It's just the best feeling to have ended book 1 on.
There's a beautiful. It's one of those things where you realize the story that you're all telling together, and it's bigger than all of you, right? Which was the idea of. I talked with Taylor about this in the producers chat, of the idea of how the characters have been changed almost cosmically by each other. And I think that there is an absolute mirror in Suvi mastering these secrets of adapted witch spells, and in the philosophy that she communicates to Steele in the final episode, going, we are changed by the world, and how that relates to the idea of like, there's an echo of that to the thing Soft says in the memory with him and Stone's first kiss, where he's like, how much effort do we waste demanding the universe do things it already wanted to do. How much better would we be at this if we allowed the universe to just exist? The ways that Suvi goes, we are changed by the world. That makes me a good wizard. And then Ursulon takes the wildest spirit of them all and makes him know honor. This golden thing of the mortal world that he fell in love with as a cub. I don't know. It's a beautiful thing. Everyone mirrored each other in how we've been changed by the world, and that is not a curse. That's a blessing.
Well, we actually have a question from Jacob Boline. Thank you so much, Jacob.
Wait, is no one else going to answer the question?
Oh,
God damn.
I mean, I will say, I think, I agree that I think one of my favorites is that final roll, because it does feel like from children's adventure to the end of book one, it feels like, whoa, we did it. We made something, and the dice went with us. But I also will give it up for, I was pretty, as an audience member in the room at the time, I think that there are a few nat 20s I've been more thankful for than Suvi in the cave with Yoren, to just get on board, because it just felt like it was like, oh, I know the place. I've argued with Suvi. I know how arduous this can be, and for that nat 20 to just be like, you're in, I think was just like, I don't know. It meant that we got to watch Suvi run around with a bunch of shark people under the water more sooner, which is all we want and all I want from this story.
the dawn!
Oh yeah, the dawn, dude.
Gorgeous, really stunning. I fucking love that. My God, I'm trying to think of my favorite roles. Least, I know my least favorite role, and I'll say this and I really love what it developed about the world building. I wanted Steel to fucking eat that curse in that last. I wanted Steel to eat that curse in that last fight. Because that's also a very fun Thomas the Rhymer kind of thing of like, but I love how where it got us to with a view into her own inner workings. And I still love the the thing we talked about in the episode talk back, but that foxfire on
I was
her.
like, Brennan, so I can choose the duration of it since she wronged me so bad.
Yes.
So she is permanently foxfired.
That is correct.
Wow.
That is correct.
Yes!
Which is a wild. Also, I think I saw someone's push funny thing where it's like, we got to see that fan art now. I mean, I'm sure she'll use illusion to
Lens flare.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll use illusion to make herself look more normal. But the idea that without an illusion, you just see this rippling green fire on her.
So is there no way to remove? There is a spell called Remove Curse. Is it not that one though?
I would say that let's actually look up the wording of Remove Curse. This is maybe an interesting piece of design.
Yeah.
Within Umora. All curse.
And I will say the only reason I like that, because the curse worked, but tongue tie didn't. There is a part of me that enjoys, at least for this big it's the Act 1 confrontation with one of the big bads.
Yeah.
That there has been so much interesting tension across book one with Suvi not feeling like she exists in a fairy tale like her friends are. Yeah. I love that the fairy tale moment where that would hit because you're teaching a kid a lesson about justice in the world. The fact that it doesn't hit is that little extra beat of and it's not a fairy tale across the board.
Yeah.
So it'll just hit even harder when it happens down the line. I love that.
I'll say too, there is a what would you call it? There's someone capable of casting curses dead on the ground of 12 Brooks who managed to get off a Heartseeker curse on Steel, who also
they're dead.
They're dead. Tough break.
Hate to say it.
But I love the I love those roles. Wait, and if anyone else wants to answer the roles question, please do. But Erica, you had another question lined up too.
Oh yeah.
Was Erica a little frozen?
Erica just said on the side that their connection keeps dropping.
Oh no.
Oh no.
The worst possible timing.
Hi. Hello.
Hey,
Can
hi.
you? Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, you had a question lined up from Jacob.
Yes. Jacob asks, if we touch the world and it changes us, how has Umora changed each of you? And also a thank you for such an inspiring story, and that I hope that I can bring an ounce of your energy to my own table. The thing that I love most about all of this is that it inspires others to tell their own stories. So please, yes, do that. But how has Umora changed each of us? Abria?
Why are we calling on people?
Abria?
What the fuck?
That was
Tell
Erica.
us.
That was genuinely.
Yeah.
I genuinely was like, "Damn, that is absolutely ruthless." To be like, "Hey, so tell me how this playing the game changed you." Abria, go ahead. Abria, we all know.
I
Abria,
was
we all
so
know.
gently like, I'm going to reread the question and think, oh shit, I'm up.
Yes,
Great.
Yeah.
exactly.
I'm the host. I've been the host of this entire book for a reason. I ask the questions.
I like that it's taken till the end of the book to watch you sort of be drunk on power. And it's a good look. I like it.
Yeah.
But to actually answer, I think there's something other than to really get the opportunity to, again, across 4 years, sit and steep in what this style of storytelling means at different ages and to different kinds of people. Like, what is the point of fairy tale? Like, what is the goal of fantasy? And like, how do you exist in, and what do we as adults making content primarily for adults, like what's the moral and what's the lesson, and like what things thematically do we care about, and how do we like bring that forward? I just like that telling a story allowed me to think about the philosophy of like how I want to move through the world and think politically about my place inside of like change and growth and empire and action and activism and all the ways that you can get stuck and all the ways that you want to move forward, and what the difference between telling stories about great action and what praxis actually feels like and requires. So yeah, it's made me, it's sharpened my beliefs.
I fucking love that.
See, that's why I asked Abria.
Damn it. I like pressure. Pressure, it feels good. Thank you.
I love that.
Call on someone else now.
Yeah, you,
Brennan, it seems like you have something to say.
Big substitute energy.
I think, how has this changed? Something has changed. I think that the way this story has changed me is that I think that there's something in the story that we talk about. I forget when it happened. It might have been. Are we getting a little crackle? Audio
Yeah.
crackle?
I'm hearing it.
Let me just airplane mode my phone real quick and see if that helps. I'm getting a little bit of a squishy scratchy.
Yeah.
Also,
Is that better?
Yeah.
That feels better,
Feels
right?
fine.
Okay, good. So I would say that the way I feel about it is there's a moment in the story, I forget the moment that it happens, but I remember talking about the idea of maybe the biggest change is not transforming, but actually becoming who you've already been. Does anyone remember talking about this in terms of, it might have been Ursulon or Ame or something along those lines, but like naming your breath, right? I think that telling the story with all of you that is about heroism and magic in a world full of wondrous things, that is also filled with horrors and nightmares, and the forces arrayed against our heroes feel impenetrable and unstoppable and overwhelming, and that nevertheless our heroes try. And we can see the seeds planted in this first book of how and why they might be able to bring that brighter tomorrow, is an articulation. And I think that is a type of transformation that that's changed within me, is talking about, the things Ursula K. Le Guin has said about revolutionary imagination and the kind of things we've said about, like, what is it? In other words, like, if I'm going to change, I have to know what I'm changing into. And if I'm going to change, I have to be able to imagine what that change might be like. And I think that, like you're saying, Abria, it's like, it feels almost obstinate to be like, I'm more convicted than I was at the beginning. I haven't changed. I'm more set in but that's actually not what it is. It goes, a thing that was a foggy, misty wish has now been more articulated and rendered. And I feel that the way I've changed is that I step more sure-footedly, having told this story with all of you, that there is one more dream in a vast sea of dreams, and this is our contribution to a constellation of stories of which many creators have told and must continue to tell throughout time, telling people that there is a brighter tomorrow, and that if you are kind and cunning and you work great magic upon the world, you too might bring it to bear. That clarity. The change I have felt is clarity.
Poet!
Oh, you bring it to me? You're gonna bring that brighter tomorrow to me? To me, Bear? That's so kind of you, dude. That's so thoughtful.
And how has it changed you, Lou?
It hasn't. I'm kind of
Love that.
I'm kind of the same person I was when we started this journey. I still like waffles. I still wake up in the morning. I put my shoes on. I go to work. I make the donuts. I come home. I kiss my beautiful wife on the cheek. I go to bed. I watch my favorite TV show. I'm just a regular guy. No, I mean, I think that for me, it's I think a lot more towards my like creativity, my process, and this art form this art form of using games to tell stories. I feel like it's more my conviction in this as an effective way. As this is more than a game if you do it with the right people, with the right support and the right constraints, like that you can take rolling dice and character sheets and do something absolutely profound, and that's a pursuit worthy. It's like a worthy pursuit to kind of invest yourself in this, and that people will forever chirp at me, being confused as to why I do this particular form of storytelling. And I think that this story and the time we've spent telling it has just kind of furthered my conviction in how profound and like, I don't know, even talking about our least favorite and favorite roles, right, is just, it speaks to the amount of control but lack of control that just influences and makes the story better and greater than it ever could have been if we all just sat down and wrote exactly what we wanted to happen, and then we're like, oh, maybe here they should have to find a new way to get around it. Like, I think there's just how this storytelling manifests and its engagement with community and the connectivity that exists between the four of us in doing it. There's no other way to tell a story this good without making a game of it. And I think that I believe that fully and truly.
Nice. Erica.
Ah, damn it! You got me. This story and the process of telling it with you all, I think, has changed me fundamentally on a personal level, in my, as Abria said, the way that I engage with activism, and also as a storyteller and creative and somebody who has studied stories their whole life. I've been in this art form since literally day one of it being a public, commercialized storytelling medium, and nobody has done it like this group. I think the thinking of it as a story and with messages and themes and character arcs that we did not plan for, but wanted to tell, and that were guided by the game and the game design, has not been done before. And the fact that everybody did it to tell such a clear and purposeful story is incredible, and still kind of blows my mind. I have never felt more supported in this in art. I have never felt more sort of comfortable in terms of creating art that is personal and culturally specific. And also, I feel like, it has changed. You've all changed my standard for art and the messages that it tells in life. Whenever I watch something or hear something, I realize, it is possible to like have a very clear, purposeful vision from a team of artists and not have it interfered with either by a committee or due to fears of public reception. You can make commercially successful art that is purposeful and has a message and is risky and that profits its creators. So in a weird level, on a personal and storytelling, and also the way that I engage with commercial art, it has changed my standards.
Amazing. Okay, I've got a question for the squad. Because I think thinking about the book, it's not my question. I'm going to read it. Thank you, Big Ted of Calderon fame, for a very good question. But this is I don't know. It feels very good now that we're at the end of a book to look back and think about, the road less traveled and all of the little turn left moments. So Big Ted writes, if you could pick one what if moment from book 1 to go back and explore the alternative outcome, what would it be? And I'll start to give everyone a little time to think, because I think my one little nuclear button that I remembered having in my notebook and in the back of my head in case things broke bad in a way and I wanted to make I like sitting there going okay, here's 8 big swings. Let's see if we're going to use any of them. In arc 3, if Suvi had gone with Ame and Ursulon to go grab the wand like I wanted her to, she would have destroyed it immediately.
Wow.
Ooh, that.
So I go to your home and blow up a bus station, and suddenly, all.
Yep.
Wow. First
100%.
Wait, okay, wait. So how does it work? Are you understood the Wand of Coven from us watching it in the thing, right?
Yeah.
So is there a
and
part
Suvi
of
points it out to Ursulon as she's
being
walking away,
it's up there.
Hey, go get that.
So is there a part of you at some point that was when it was introduced, is Suvi quietly in the back of their mind going, I think I should destroy that? Versus even just capturing it and keeping it for yourself. Destruction over possession.
No, I think this is very specifically the reaction to Suvi's fear of, hey, you guys are about to go vote on what happens, what you're going to do about the Citadel. And I'm actually not convinced you're going to let me leave. Because it would be the stupidest thing in the world to be we're voting to go to war, and you're the one that's going to go home and warn your people. So if Suvi had any pushback about leaving, she would have locked in and been totally fine. Do you want to go get that wand on the way out the door? And then the moment she was in contact with it, I would have thrown every destructive spell I had at it to snap the wand. Because that solves the problem of the Coven's unanimity. no more coven.
No more coven.
Ooh, Doctor. I'll tell you what.
I think that's the point at which Suvi's like, oh, I'm not getting home, but if I can save my people, I'll do it.
Now
100%.
now let me tell you who would have had a ball with that, and that is yours truly. I would have had a ball with that. Wow.
In that what if spin-off episode, what would have happened?
Yeah, Brennan. This question is fun because the result, the consequences machine is in the room with us.
You want to run the physics engine on breaking bond?
Yes.
Tell
Show
us.
me the ragdoll physics of this interesting choice.
I need to keep an ace up my sleeve because the wand still exists. And
That is true.
Play simulation.
Play simulation. Here's what I'll say. We will never, unless another conclave occurs in the story, it's possible that the wand will be broken at some future point in the campaign. I don't know what the plans that you all have will be or won't be, or the feelings towards the Coven of Elders and how they will remain and how they will change and all of that stuff. Lots of different options and potentialities in the future. What I will say is breaking it while all of its members are physically present would have been absolutely the most dramatic way of breaking it. And I'll leave it at that.
Tight.
Damn.
You gotta know. You're like, you gotta do it just to see if any of them's gonna like Ark of the Covenant in the corner.
That is a spicy answer. What are other big swings? Maybe we'll find one that I can
Play out.
I have one that's not a big swing and never, I don't think ever would have happened. But I do think, like, in a very real way, there's nothing in my character outside of external stimuli, like, especially at that point in the story, there's nothing in me that was actually chasing this. But I am like, oh, what if we just wait for Steel in the first in our run? Like, what if we just wait for Steel? Like, there's a part of me, no part of Ursulon until, like, Brennan, you and I actively discussed it and we're like, let's create some stimuli. Like, Quest Fever was something like that didn't have to happen. And I think there's fully a world outside of Quest Fever where Ursulon is like, let's hey, what's up? I'm just gonna be drunk for 3 days. Like, let's fucking we're just chilling until Steel shows up.
So like not living in a D&D campaign, being like, oh, an authority figure is going to solve the problem for us. Let's have a drink and relax, right?
She keeps promising she'll be here soon. She'll deal with it.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Is I've been playing Steel knowing what her true MO has been the entire time. And it's one of those funny things where you look back on the reactions to some of those episodes where people were like, why aren't they just letting Steel, who has all of the resources, help them? Everything she's saying is so fucking reasonable. And I love that because it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Everything she was saying was so reasonable. And it's so reasonable to say, you're a child. I'm one of the world's greatest wizards. You want to let me take a crack at this, Chief? Like, I can help you out. And what's great about that is in real life, bad guys say reasonable things all the fucking time. It's almost like language is a game and you can cloak yourself in the veneer of reasonableness with very minimal effort if you're smart. It's one of the most frightening parts of being a human. It makes me wake up in a cold sweat all the time that the worst ideologies you've ever heard of can, with a trick of language, be made to sound like the obvious choice. Oh no. So in Arc 1, right, Steele's just going like, hey, keep it on ice. Let me get there for a quick second. I'm going to look into this. At that time, I'm playing her knowing she's the architect of the curse on Ame and saying, we need to find out who did this to you, right? Like, if you guys had waited, she would have scooped Ame up, said, we got to take her to the Citadel. She's sick. They would have taken her there. probably in that world have gone in through the curse to find out the nature of the coven. Without her memories were delayed in the process of the Station of the World's Heart actually being able to pass on to Ame, and they probably find a magical way to break the Coven of Elders magically before they wake Ame up with either no memories or no memories of the coven, or something along those lines. Like, send Ame back to go be the Witch of Toma. Don't wrong her in any way that can come back on us. But maybe we break the coven in this moment magically. Remote snap the wand. Some other way of using the curse as a foot in the door to get into the magic of the coven.
And would Naram have been
Dope.
freed? Or how would Steele have covered up the Naram situation, or like assuaged us of the Naram situation?
I think that my plan was, if you were going to let Steele get there, she would have had Moro killed, freed Naram, and taken all of the research from the Derrick. So in other words,
we should have let her come. That would have been fine.
Remember also, like, the plan, like 12 Brooks was already happened. Like, she already knew. She was, in other words, she would have been like, you dumbass, we're working on this. You know what I'm saying? She's like, think about her already knowing about Lucent Court. Think about, in other words, it's like, goddamn, like parallel discovery, except this guy's a moron. Like, does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like,
of course.
But she would have taken the lenses and been like, now that is interesting tech. We can use that. Right? Like, so in other words, being like, oh, that's,
I like it.
So in other words, but I think she would have been like, my Lord Naram, like everything she says to Suvi about like, don't needlessly antagonize spirits, they're fine. Like, she doesn't have, like, that is actually accurate to Steele. She does not have a special enmity towards spirits past what she has towards other human beings, which is like the one thing that humans, in other words, when she's like humans and spirits, it's like, it's all part of the same. She's like, it's all like, don't get heated up. In other words, like, the young Suvi in Arc 1 being like, I hate these spirits. This is our world, and
that's not what she was like, but all right.
But you know what?
Calm down.
You had a certain, in your words, what was Suvi saying in that interaction with Steele? She uses some strong language about Orima in that scene.
She says, I don't think I hate them, but I'm closer than I thought.
Okay, gotcha. Well,
a lot of people really popped off when she was like, I don't know, man. They seem quite bad. They almost killed my friends. Yeah. And everyone's like, Suvi is a racist. It's like, oh, okay. We got there quickly. Interesting.
Heard. Put it in the official record. We didn't get it exactly right. But I think that the within that, in other words, taking the negativity of the horrifying experience with Orima and Lamry and the horror visited on the landscape around Port Talon, and extrapolating that out into a broader, this is how I'm feeling about spirits. I think that there is a moment where Steele goes like, don't worry about that. But where that's genuine coming from Steele, and the place that's coming from is like, listen, I get being bothered by the things outside of your control. We're so close to not having that be a thing anymore. Don't sweat it. Like,
damn,
we're
that's
so
real. Ooh.
Like, in other words, being like, fun. When you're like, they just moved their bishop. Fuck these guys. And her being like, dude, it's checkmate in 2. Like, don't worry about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's her. Yeah. That's her attitude, right? Like, that's where she's coming from in that scene.
The chill sinisterness of her perspective. Oh, I'm very excited to go back and re-listen to all of this now.
That all of her chillness comes from someone who's certain of victory, right? You know what I mean? Like, that's really what it comes down to, is her being like, you don't need to get mad at these people. They're about to not matter anymore. Which comes from a very real place, I think, in the way that Steele is informed as a villain from Brennan's own methodology, from like how you put a little bit of yourself in all the characters you play. There really is a strong thing for me in real life when I see people get to a place of peak of emotional distress against people that are not. I've talked to close friends being like, you're mad at somebody or you have a strong feeling about somebody. Is that person in between you and your goal? because if they're not, this effort is wasted. Like you don't need someone can be trying to pick a fight with you, but if they have nothing you need and can't stop you from getting what you want, that's wasted effort. That's a distraction. And the like looking at Steele in that. So in other words, Ame goes to Citadel. Naram is freed with a, you know, I had a whole thing planned with her getting there and being like, my gentle wave lord, please, like with our dearest apologies, this you know, like all of that being like, yeah, man, you're going to come out in the wash. Anyway, this is a way. Yeah, this is all going to happen a different way.
I cannot envision this story without the Rain Road and the exact way it happened. It feels crazy. That's so great.
I do wonder about my big sort of thing is that what if Ame had trusted Suvi and Steele, you know, and done things that were very reasonable, like you know. Everybody was right to be like, Ame, you're acting crazy. Like they offered all this medical care, you know. Why didn't you take that and wait around? Like you are there, a guest in their home, and they're like, hey, hang on for a minute. Like, I know you have to go, but we're like making sure we're checking your work here. And instead, like, you go and you pop off, and just all the steps along the way where Ame could have taken Steele at her word and didn't, like, what would it? We get what would have happened if we waited for her in Port Talon, but like. What if she had
waited
just
for
stayed?
her in the Citadel, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what would have happened at the end of like we talked about the end of chapter 1. If you go to the end of chapter 2, I mean, yeah, there's you know, I think this is I feel that I'm experiencing this every day in the world that we live in terms of a slow creeping dread, as people are like, things are fine, nothing weird or like. How different is life than it was 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, yesterday, and a week ago? You know, like all this stuff. The crackdown where you see the people like Lothario, Rakamonti getting dragged out of the thing, the Imperial skyships in the Citadel, Steele being like, there's a hunt for someone, there might be a traitor here. We have Imperial wizards in the Citadel. All of that was specifically to create this feeling of dread closing in. You'd been given this timeline by Sly. This was once again, as the person playing Steele, when you guys said, so you didn't give her Sly's name, but you said someone in Kabani court told us we have this amount of time. She immediately believed that 100%, lied about not believing it, but believed it 100%, and went, oh, great. I just got to keep this kid pinned down for 48 hours and something happens.
Oh my God.
So all of that was fabrication from my part of her being like, I can make a witch see things that I want them to see. She knows that's true. She just did it with the fucking stars of the southern sky.
That was so crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, she literally but again, how reasonable was she being? And look, I know, like, for everyone that advocated on behalf of Steele's point of view in that chapter, your perspective was not a wrong one, but it was one that people like Steele know exists and take advantage of. Liars and manipulators in real life know how to craft something to seem reasonable and make it seem like not doing what they want you to do makes you a bad person and makes you a like unreasonable. Because
Alme is the tell me to calm down. I dare you to tell me to calm down.
Right. And like it doesn't mean that there won't be another point in time where prudence is the right choice and impulsive action is the wrong choice. Life is filled with case-by-case judgment calls where you have to make a different call than the one you made before because in some way you can't even perceive the circumstances are different. But yeah, I was playing a bad guy and she was trying to get you to stay. And that was the reality throughout that. And all the things she was saying about like, we're going to keep you safe. This is going to happen. Were all her pressing, like, you know, the credit she had bought by being so reasonable and friendly up to that point was she was spending it in that moment to get you to not leave. And I think that the fox in that moment had that little thing of like, you can feel the trap closing in, right? Which was fundamentally me going like, well, I think as like even more so than in Port Talon, I was like, well, if Ame stays here, I don't like, I'm gonna have to pull some, like, if Ame stays here, I've said she's dead. And, and you know what I mean? Like, if Ame stays here, I have said she's gonna die. I don't know how to save the story from that. So the fox being like, I feel a trap closing in, was basically me being like, your little spiritual, cosmically aligned thing is telling you to run, because there isn't a logical reason to do it. There's only an intuitive reason to do it.
Tiger in the grass. Yeah.
Yeah, tiger in the grass. Sometimes you can feel the eyes on you, and you go, and if you're like, I think I should run, and someone goes, prove it, and you're like, I can't. I can't prove it. I can't prove it in this moment. I just think I need to run.
It's crazy too. I feel like, because the very unique thing of the type of storytelling we do is that you have to be both sides of that coin.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think even as your player at times, it's crazy because you've got one half of you going, my guy, just hang. We got nowhere to be. Stay. And then the other half of you's going, you feel crazy, right? You feel like we got to get out of here. And then but it's all your voice. it's your voice saying all of the things.
Yeah, the fox and Steel have the same voice, just in different moods and vibes. It's both my voice. Right?
Not that, but just in that it's all like, Brendan, you are the world, and thus it is your responsibility to be both of these Felix. And it's just like,
that is a thing that I think Abria is especially good at with me. Of being like, don't you push that big red button, Erica. Don't you push it. Don't you do it.
I'll pile drive you through a table. Don't you keep rolling.
Don't you?
Yeah.
Look what happened. Oh, wow.
Let the dice tell a story. Man, that is really hard though. And like, I do want to give Erica, I really want to give you your flowers on this, because like, as much as I like make jokes about like defending Suvi's perspective on this, like, having to sit and live in the world where you as a player are responding and making choices based on an intuition of the like construct of the world in your imagination. So you have to imagine that you're getting all of these like micro signals. And I can't fathom how difficult it is to play sincerely in that and not feel like the choice you're like, to make it feel like it doesn't feel meta, and I'm watching a character look around and clock something that no one else can see, and none of us can see any of it, is just a testament to how good and grounded and like lived in, and just how good of an actor you are. It's amazing. It's amazing. You're very good.
Really, really good. All of you guys were great too in that scene. I also think too that whenever we do these long flashbacks of recounting the what ifs, you always erase a little bit of complexity from them, because you know things get redacted.
Yeah.
But like, it's always important to remember, Suvi goes with them to the Galathopter. Like the initial impulse to leave no matter what, even with Steel having been like, hang tight, Suvi doesn't alter that plan until Steel is like, this is a direct order, right? Like, and also Ame does not blow up a bus station. The Fox does, and I'll stand by that till my dying day.
All right.
What is the Fox?
The Fox and Ame are one guy.
I didn't know that Suvi was Catholic like that. All right, the Ame and the Fox. It's Ame,
and
the Fox, and the Holy
with
Spirit.
your spirit. Yeah. And also with your Fox. Yeah.
Also with your Fox. I love it.
Can I answer another question?
Yeah.
This one comes from Joaquim. Thank you, Joaquim. How did you come up with Wavebreaker? We came up with Wavebreaker together in the children's adventure.
Whoa, Lou, what's that? Where can we listen to that?
Well, the children's adventure was our unique take on a session 0, where we built the characters by actually playing out the childhood summer in which they met. So for those of you who perhaps have exclusively listened to the Wizard, the Witch, and the Wild One on the kind of main feed, on the Patreon exists a 6-episode series in which we build these characters from scratch. 8-episode series? Wow, that's 2 more episodes, all for only $5 a month. But yeah, in that, I think at some point Brendan describes us going upstairs and finding a bathtub filled with swords, and of those swords, we picked out this one. And I believe each of us described an element of it, and then Brennan gave it the name Wavebreaker. And then we didn't think about it for a number of months.
Yeah.
And then when we did our first ever camp, where we recorded the last 3 or 4 episodes of the children's adventure and the first 2 episodes of the campaign, that's when we realized that the thing we all made up together in a fun, sweet exercise was going to be fundamental to the story we were telling. I still remember when Brendan
Suvi being like, here, for you, giving it to Ursulon, because it was such a lovely gesture.
A child giving a gift that was not hers to give. The most 6-year-old shit.
Then Grandma Wren being like, just go up to the attic and use that sword. And we're like, ooh, give it away. She's like, you what?
Yeah. I still remember when Brendan, when we were doing the official stat block for it in the campaign when we got it back, and he was like, it's a +2 or +3 weapon, and it was like, whoa, this is. I'm like a level 1 character with a +3 weapon was really felt like I was gonna break the rule, I was gonna break the game. I was like, oh, this is too much, and yet it was just right.
I think big magic items go a long way to helping a party slightly under the average party size. You know what I mean? Like just balancing for encounters. The fact that giving a +3 sword in a 3-person party, completely advisable in terms of just okay, +3 sword's really good. You know what would be even crazier good? One other guy helping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
8 more HP and one more stack in initiative.
Yeah, one more unarmed strike.
Yeah, one more stack in initiative. Yeah, imagine one other 5th level character running around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, a +3 sword is fucking incredible. Casting fireball's pretty good, having extra attack as a martial class is pretty good. So within all of that, I think it's important to remember when you're balancing for small parties, give them the goods, baby. Give them the good shit.
I also think it just did a really beautiful job of implying the scale of Grandma Wren's world and the world of Umora. When you're she's got artifacts in the bathtub.
Yeah.
Just vibing. That's something that she's forgotten about, and it's the coolest. So it's one of the 8 coolest swords on Umora. That's just so rad.
In a bathtub up there. But what I love about it too is we are seeing why that is. Flicker is a giant stone living construct powered by candle magic who's just hanging out because they had to get him out of. He's just a big friend. So I love that. I felt like there were so many apotheosis, catharsis moments where the characters sort of self-actualized by the finale of the game. And one of them for Ame, for me, was the villagers riding by in a cart as Flicker waves at them, being like, young witch at the cottage, shit's about to get crazy again. What was Grandma Wren up to with that bathtub full? Think about her walking out of a teleportation or flying in with a broomstick and being like, okay, thank God, bag full of swords. Been like, okay, I'm going to put them in the bathtub until I find out what to do with them. 40 years later, they are in the bathtub.
Wait, on that, can I ask another what if?
Yes!
Yeah!
Is there a Ghost and Flicker don't go to the to go be tortured by hook mouths? If Ghost and Flicker, is there a world where Ghost and Flicker come with us? Is there could Ghost and Flicker have done anything else, or could they have stayed in Port Ellen?
Ghost and Flicker could have done anything else. I mean,
yeah.
Ghost's life was in chaos when Findlay fled. Like she didn't have like her. Like, in other words, leaving her was not also a good answer. Taking her with you to where to do what? I will say the best case scenarios. It was not a situation where the Empire was always going to look at Ghost and go mwah ha 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 ha, but a world where Suvi is there to lean on her name in person is a very different universe. A universe where Ghost and Flicker board the Epiphany as guests of the Sword of the Citadel is a very different one from the one where they have to get on a ship and go to Cairo. It's just like real Pinocchio, Fox and Cat. How many people get a hand on the ball before Ghost finds the right person to share a name with? You know what I mean? Like it's just that's really the end of the day is too many malevolent actors got to be a wicket through which Ghost had to pass. Right.
I do think you've done a great job of making it so that we can't really if a person doesn't fit in a sack or a vial or like a pocket, like we kind of just have to go like, hey, good luck out there. Like it's pretty tough to bring people along.
Make your way to the cottage. You'll get there eventually.
Yeah, it's really tough to be like, hey, roll with us. You know, we kind of know where we're going on a date. Like we're very much on the fly. So it's like, what's up? If you can't fit in here or like in here, like you actually can't come with us.
Look, I needed that dispelling agent, so I think it worked out the best way it could.
Listen, we did. We did use it. We did use it.
I still remember when you made us use it, and it was just this kind of like,
I felt myself actively dissociate for like the first time. I was like,
when we used it on that alarm spell on the grate, it was just kind of like, man, come on, we're supposed to be doing this. It's supposed to be cool. We're saving the kids. What's all this? What's all this moral ambiguity? Where the fuck did this come from?
I don't think Suvi makes it to Avacyn if she doesn't have the dispelling agent to like disenchant that little like the stone of passage. Yeah. So yeah, that was the moment where I was like, oh no. I thought about the consequences and I'm like, me as Suvi has gone away inside my own head and I have to drag myself back. And that was where Suvi's sort of storming the beach in Normandy vibe came from, was me feeling myself actually do that and go like, lean in for the battle.
I love that. My God, I love that so much. Yes, I think a lot of there were a lot of different paths there. I feel like I want the what if questions I want to ask for you guys.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of like what would the world have done? But I'm trying to think if there are any like close calls or edge cases that like how you guys would have reacted differently if something had gone differently. I guess like some of my questions are maybe about like, God, because really there are, the question I have for you guys is there anything that you guys remember from the campaign where you were close to making a different call? Does that make sense? Like, are there any things where it was like, it was on a knife's edge and it just ended up the improv came up a certain way and you almost made a different call than the one you made?
Suvi having the conversation with Silver in Bracken. I was mostly not going to do that and then got caught in the moment and was like, oh, this is an opportunity.
That's my what if question for you. Yeah. If you hadn't told Silver the real plan, would you have still left with Ursulon and Ame? And if not, and therefore Silver didn't know your secret and therefore Silver doesn't die, would you have gone to Caterwall Lane and had the departure from the Citadel that you had?
I think she was always going to go. Mm-hmm. Like, she was locked in from the like match my breath and walk in my footsteps. Mm-hmm. It was just about the like her trying to live in the truth that she has seen modeled from Ame about like radical candor and trusting people with even uncomfortable like where you're sitting. But I do wonder what it would have like. I don't know how the rest of the book goes. Man, give me a second. Someone else go. What would I have done?
I love that. Let me. I wonder what else here. The in terms of other what ifs for Erica or Lou, is there anything that you guys felt in that way that was like almost like a different? You were close to making a different call. Lou, a question for you. What would you? Here's my what if. I know you were close to taking the Sword of Night, or that it was at least a thought you had.
Yeah.
If the man in black had been a little bit less honest, or maybe just like a little bit less convicted that Ame and Suvi's death was a foregone conclusion in the fight against the Citadel, if the man in black had simply been like, they must adhere to my cause or they will be an enemy as well, whatever, does Ursulon take? If the man in black slows his roll a scotch, does that scene go differently?
I don't think so. I think he has to. It's a little bit more than a scotch, right? Because
Yeah.
I do think like fundamentally in this kind of like, I forget when we talk, because it's a conversation we have with the man in black at some point. I don't know if it's that one, but it is this kind of like, I'm not going to tell my friends what to do, which I feel like is the kind of the underlying thing of freedom, right? It's like, I am not going to, I can't like force them to get on your team. You like, I can join your team and be a guy on, like, and I can try and show them how great being on your team is, but compelling them is not something I could do. I think if he had straight up lied a little bit more and made it sound like it was not a foregone conclusion, like truly, I think there's just that question, right? Which is like, is the path you're on at odds with theirs? And he's like, it is. I think if he had lied in that moment and an insight check hadn't allowed me to see the truth, I think there's a part of me that would have excitedly been like, if this, maybe we can make this work. I think
the man in black is gonna lie so much.
but I think that Ursulon is a trusting, as we learn at the end, Ursulon wants to believe the man in black so badly.
Yeah.
So I think there is definitely a what if you play that scene a little bit differently, where Ursulon takes the sword. I think it'd be interesting. Like, I feel like me, Lou, yes, because I think it is like if you had sold me, Lou, the person on this kind of like a vision that Ursulon could get into, I think story-wise I wouldn't have been in the contractual nitty-gritty of like, so like how long is the term for, and like, if you start doing stuff I don't like, can I just go home? Like, I think if you had set it up differently, there's definitely a world where Ursulon is like, I think I can make these two things work. Like, I think I can be your champion and be a friend to my friends. Hey, brother, I wish. I mean, again, since I have seen the culture that is going on at the Man in Black's team, I'm actually okay with it. But at the time, to wield that sword would have been everything. I feel like I joked about it in the Fireside at that time, but to just be like two swords, just like to be just dual wielding would have been amazing,
And once again, if he had offered a gun instead,
Bro.
that would have
if he had just offered a
Done.
6-shooter, dude.
Done.
A 6-shooter and a poncho, and I'm it.
He gives you a big wide-brimmed hat and goes, "Saddle up, partner."
Exactly.
Oh, it then becomes the man in black and the gunslinger, and we get sued by Stephen King.
Oh, please.
There you go.
It's so funny for me. I think that there's no world in which Ame doesn't do all the things that happened, because Erica, am mech piloting her, and you guys have all told me what to do. I mean, it's like, we are so, I think, on the same page for telling this same story, despite not even having discussed it beforehand. But I know that, like, it would have been nice if Ame had just been like, hey, it seems like you're having a bad time here at the Witches' Coven. Let's not talk about difficult things right now. And Ame and Suvi don't have a big blowout argument, and Suvi stays and stuff. But Erica, know that it needs to happen. So it just happens, right? Like
What's
all of these things. But I think.
I have a what if for you, Erica, if that's okay.
Yeah, because I have only one thing that I can think of, and it's because there just wasn't enough time and circumstance. But ask yours first.
Okay, I'll ask yours first, and then you go. What if, in the roll to persuade Hakeya at the conclave, you had rolled a nat 20?
Ooh.
And that Hakeya, just due to being charmed by you, votes no, and the Coven of Elders, because that was, again, I know that this story is so grand and it all feels like it could only have ever happened this way. There's a world where the Coven of Elders stays neutral, does not join with the Man in Black. If that happens, how would Ame's actions have changed immediately following that vote?
It would have 100% been what Ursulon did with the Great Bear. She would have approached her and asked her to not choose a side, Citadel versus Man in Black, but she would have said, we need to stop this because I can see bad actors on both sides.
Ooh, that's a tough uphill climb, because I'm telling you, as I fucking love Hakeya and playing her so much. She would have been like, whoa. We just decided not to do something. Let's give it 50 years of I thought you were on team don't do something. Now you're on team do something. I can't keep up. This kid is all over the place.
She's so cute. I love her so much.
And I don't know if at that point Ame would have been like, yeah, Team 3 has to do something about it, or rather of like, she would have been like, please get people to at least not go to the Citadel, or at least not be on the Man in Black side.
Yes. Yes.
Do you think you would have had a stronger sense of like, we are the third option? Because I think my brain doesn't conceive of us being that until very late in book 4.
The problem is that it wouldn't have been third option is a team. It's just like, please, like, just hold on. Like, don't join the witches, but don't defend the Citadel yet. Like, there's something here that needs to happen, right?
Right.
But I think Ame wouldn't have necessarily been. So it wouldn't have been like with Ursulon and the Great Bear. It would have been more like, at least, like, please be part of our team and our think tank of what to do next.
Yeah. That's really exciting.
The other one that would have been in that same arc was I think Ame would have really very awkwardly and with difficulty tried to sort of ask Tefmet out.
Love that.
Try to at least be like, hey, do you want to get tea sometime? But like, not because you're sick, but like,
I know we only have a few minutes. I know we only have a few minutes left, but this is actually the perfect thing for our last question here from Stuart. For all the PCs, what is one hope and one fear you have going into the next book of this game? Way on down the line, we got so many stories coming your way in the immediate interim. We got Hint, we got Lou Wilson GMing for us, and then we take it to the stars with Solari. But whensoever book 2 occurs, one hope, one fear. Erica, you're saying
I have none fear.
None fear.
None fear. But asking out a human, I think, from is one fear, maybe. Yeah, actually.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love it.
I think it's that. I think it's just that. But I think one hope for me is, we're going to be on a train. I am excited. I love trains. Seeing the free roads. I'm so excited to explore the free roads.
Nice.
Abria.
We got to stop calling on me. God damn it.
Abria, you're up. Abria, you have such an energy that's like real pick-me stuff. Like, I just feel like you want it so badly, dude.
Absolutely bodied by Lou Wilson in the last minutes of Pick Me. Biggest hope is Sworn. Sworn somehow pulling through and finding a way to like reconnect with him. Biggest fear, I think if Suvi hears her name cloak destroyed, I think she'll start to spiral about like, and this also goes back to like the end of that last question about like what would happen if no Silver. I think she's been very close to a paranoid like arc, and I think she's just very close to being launched into it. The idea of suddenly feeling uncovered and unmoored magically is the scariest thing for her.
Yeah.
What is like? How many books are you thinking, my guy? Like I'm trying to think like what level of badassery do we need? Because if book 2's like the book, like I got hopes, but if book 2's like the book on the way to the book, like then I got other hopes and dreams.
If we have a similar speed, right? We did levels 1 through 5. I could see.
Oh, that's right. We're going to 20.
Plus, there's epic levels.
There's epic levels.
5 books.
There's epic levels.
I would say that I think it's very possible, and don't hold me to this. Don't everybody don't nobody do nothing. I think I could see a world with 4, and I can see a world with 3. I think 3 or 4 books, because 15th level is also extraordinarily powerful. You know what I mean? Like that's how I feel. I think 3 or 4 books feels solid to me.
Cool. Yeah. All right. I think my hope for book 4 is that,
Book 4?
Book 3, or excuse me. Sorry. Well, here, I'll tell you my hope for book 4. We kill all these motherfuckers, all right? Every motherfucker that's standing in our way, he going down. No, my hope for book 2 is that we fight less and we're just kind of, everybody's more chill, what's my hope for book 2? My hope for book 2 is that, we just get to, I feel like book 2, truly, as I start to think about it, is Ursulon's like badass era. This is where this is his like no mercy era. Like I genuinely think Ursulon's issue at the beginning of book 2 is that he enjoys ending lives too much. Like he's just in his John Wick mode, I think I genuinely have real John Wick energy planned for Ursulon in book 2.
Let's go.
Then my fear is that Brennan will make the enemies too strong for me to go full John Wick.
5th level is very different, man. 5th level is different.
But also that I think that my other fear is I think the beauty, right, of book 1 was that we watched untethered people become more tethered, or like to build this community that we now have, like that we now get to move forward with into like our search for that brighter tomorrow. But I think that also means that there's more things Brennan can go after, more things that our heart rests on, that he can put in jeopardy. And if you come from Roro, I'll fight you, Brennan the man. It will, there will be no initiative. It will just be an all-out brawl across the podcast table.
Okay, note to self, build a sturdier podcast table. Just in case.
Brennan, you have to answer the question.
Hopes and fears? Oh man, John Wick. Ursulon.
One hope, one fear.
John Wick, Ursulon,
my hope for book 2 is that we get to play it, and it is very, very fun. My fear. Oh no, I'll be more specific. I'll answer the question for real. My hope for book 2 is, I think my hope for book 2 is that all of our amazing players get to rest with their incredible achievements and the growth they have achieved, but also sink our teeth into the joy of the demons that are left to wrestle with, which I think I have a very clear eyesight about. I'll say this, and I'll leave this as this is I don't play these characters, but I have to love them and know them in order to make good stories for them. I think I'm going to leave the the things I see that are I think hopes and fears combined, because I think it is the road of trials, and there are hopes and fears in all trials. I think for Suvi, Suvi has done the great magician's task, like great sacrifice for the secret names of the world. I've talked to Abria in the past about Odin on the world tree, about the things that great magicians do to learn the secret names of the wind. I don't think anyone has lost more than Suvi has lost, and therefore has paid the highest possible magician's price. And as someone who is unmoored from a previous home, I'm excited to see. I think my hope for Suvi in the next book is magician. That's my word. Is the idea of like, I have lost my tower. Let me learn the secret names of the world. I want to see Suvi after that level 5 and being like, I love magic. I want to see Suvi the magician. That's what I want to see. Is like, what does her relationship to wizardry become, and how does she prove every false idea of magic wrong? That's like that stuff I think about. I think for Ame, I think that Ame has like gotten her memory, saved the world, kindness and cunning, and has set the tone for the new Witch of the World's heart. I think for her, it is, how do we move from the shelteredness of Toma and now, like, I think Tefmet's a great thing. How can you be the Witch of the World's heart if you've never had your heart broken? And what are the things, what are the things Ame has to do to get the level of experience with the world and all of the things you do? Like, how do you hold on to your kindness and your cunningness, but come to know the capital W world? In other words, like, we think about Ame struggling with the soldiers in the Shroud Mountains of like, why can't I know you? I think book 2, the hope and the fear for Ame, is how do you come to know the vast variety of peoples in the world of which you are the steward of its heart? And is that process a smooth one? I don't think so. And then for Ursulon,
John Wick.
blah, blah, blah. Get the gun of the man in black, blah, 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 blah. I think for Ursulon, as spirits become greater, their domains increase. And I think for Ursulon, I think about freedom, and I think about honor, and I think about, can one be a spirit of freedom and the heart's desire while also being a knight who pursues obligation and responsibility? And I think that I think that when I think of Ursulon, I think of the warrior's path of threading the straight and narrow, when sometimes the virtues you are called to are aligned and sometimes they're in conflict. So I think those are my hopes and fears for all of our beautiful PCs and the journeys that await them. I can't wait.
Yeah, that was fun.
Whoa.
I was yelling a lot during.
Abria had to mute,
yeah.
but we still saw her screaming soundlessly.
I was hollering.
I am shaken to my core here. Thank you so much to my dear, dear friends for joining me for this very special, very public fireside chat. Abria, Ahuhu, and Crackle Crackle.
Ahuhu, crackle crackle, to a brighter tomorrow.
To a brighter tomorrow. Brennan Lee Mulligan, thank you.
Ahuhu, crackle crackle. That's my favorite one.
And Lou Wilson, thank you so much for being here.
Hoo-hoo, crackle, crackle. It's been nice seeing everyone. I'm going back to Panama.
No! I thought you found yourself there. What more do you have?
Well, once you find yourself, what greater joy is there in life but to revel in the nature of the self?
There's thousands of foxes in Panama.
There's thousands of foxes in Panama. But hey, we'll see everyone over by the fireside. It's not over. It's just beginning.
Oh.
you ever just say some you kind of like fake profound shit where you just say kind of a series of words that sound meaningful, you know?
But
Yeah.
if you hit the like pattern,
You don't
it's
have
a
to go
pattern.
home, but you can't stay here.
Erica, you want to give us? Hey, thank you, Erica, for all of your hosting over the entire book of book one.
Thank you, Erica.
You want to give us? You want to give us a little hoo hoo and a little crackle crackle?
A hoo-hoo. Crackle, crackle.
Yay! Yay! See you guys next time. More to come.
Bye.
Bye.